authenticator today. Woo-hoo.
Now you pull up the PowerPoint real quick. Just go to the flow diagram. All right, so yesterday, I don't know if Maggie's waiting on something, but real quick, we covered the sales order, and she'll go through all of this. We just opened the chat for everybody for if you have questions as you're going through. But we're going to cover the other 4 forms, and luckily those forms are pretty. They're very specific, and they're meant to accomplish one task. So it's not like a sales order where you've got a lot of different things going on. You're shipping, you're reserving, you're invoicing, you're looking at prices, you're setting prices, and you're making cuts. Each of the next forms are really, really specific to, one particular task at hand. So go ahead and take off from there, Maggie.
Okay. So everybody's got Dynamics open, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as Johnny was saying, yesterday when we left off, we created the sales order. Well, first we created a customer, then we made a sales order, and then we made cuts on that sales order, and then took a payment. So from this point is when we would navigate. Sorry, I clicked on the hamburger menu, and then expanded the modules. Many places where you can find schedule cuts. The next screen that I'm about to go to, you can find it here in accounts receivable and then favorite it here. You can also go down into we have RG forms. These are all of our custom forms that we make. And it's also going to be here under cuts and then schedule cuts. So however you want to get to it is perfectly fine. Just obviously make sure to favorite it if you know that you're going to be visiting it a lot. So I'm going to click on schedule cuts. And so here we can see there's nothing here, but we have filters up at the top. We can say show unassigned and then show assigned.
All of those buttons at the top will filter based on whatever criteria you're looking for. One of the things we didn't cover with cuts yesterday, if you have an order for turf that you don't have, you can show it as a back order, and there's a button on there that you can flip as a back order, and you can do it on the sales order screen as well. And that is designed to, make sure that anybody looking at cuts will know that, hey, this isn't in stock. But you likely won't use that for a little while. I think eventually you may, but for a while you won't. Some of the other filters, the show unassigned and show assigned filters are pretty obvious. You can see the column there on the right-hand side middle called reserved role. That lets you know if you have inventory assigned to that cut. Okay, and so when we say show assigned and show unassigned, that is what we're talking about. Is you're going to show, if you only want to see cuts that don't have inventory assigned, you can uncheck show assigned, and it'll show you just the cuts that inventory is not assigned to it, and vice versa. if you'll notice when their inventory is not assigned, up at the very top menu, you cannot click on release to make cuts until there's turf assigned. So in this, to take advantage of this while we're looking at this to how a scheduler, somebody assigning turf uses these, you'll notice that the highlighted row is that Turf Tour Pro row. If you are wanting to see how many cuts do I have for that SKU, the row that you're on, you have selected, if you go up there and click filter by item, it will show you all the cuts that you have set for Turf Tour Pro. So uncheck it, Maggie, and then go to the all play, because I noticed there's multiple of those, and do the same thing. And you'll see it's only going to show you cuts for turf all play. That allows you to look to see how much you need and in which roles you need assigned in an effort to minimize your number of short rolls when cuts are done. Okay. If you got a hot order, you can uncheck that. If you got a hot order and you see that there's multiple cuts for some 551, select that row right there, and you can do a filter by order, and it'll show you all the cuts that you need to do for that one sales order.
Is there a filter by customer?
Yeah,
Because I mean, that's how we kind of go through that, you know.
And we don't right click on there and insert a column,
Because
Maggie,
then, you
and
know,
see if customers even an option.
That's what I was just.
I feel the people will
doubt
literally
it.
just be cutting rolls for orders that aren't even
Yeah.
there.
That's where we at.
We need like,
We
this
need that.
customer's here to pick up 3 orders. Go right to the customers and print, you know, get those cuts for those 3 orders, get them to the guys. So you can maybe update your columns and add that in.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's the most critical thing.
Right.
Yeah, and so, yeah, we can add another filter. The thing, clear that filter, Maggie, and let me show you what that button does, what we do programmatically. Click on customer name, Maggie, and do contains Maria. When you click those filter buttons up at the top, that's all we're doing. It's manipulating those filters. So any column on there you can filter yourself, but we can add a filter by customer and put that in there. Okay, you can release those. And so now, or release that filter, Maggie, not release the cut yet. All right, so now you're showing only unassigned roles, and we can take that Turf Tour Pro, you can see the inventory that is below. You can, on that on-hand inventory below, you can see, I'm gonna have to get a little closer, I'm sorry, my eyes are not that good without my glasses. You can see the linear length that is available. You can see the available, in this length available. Let's say this is a 15 by 18. If you assign this roll to that and highlight that, copy that serial number, Maggie, because so we can filter on it in just a second. And so we'll go ahead and assign, and all you do is click assign roll. So you select the turf, you do that, you won't see it populate because we don't have the show assign filter on, but when it comes back, now you can do show assigned. And you can see that roll number got assigned to it. Now go back down here at the bottom, Maggie, and right here it is, that third row. You see how it says 8'6"? This length available. You have the length of the roll, but the length available is going to show you the length after cuts. For all the cuts that have been assigned, it's going to let you know that, hey, you only have 8 feet. It's going to run over them.
You can see the physical reserve is just there.
And you can see that 200 and whatever that number is. is reserved.
And so the 314, 270 on the available, that's square footage.
Yeah, reserve.
Yes.
And you got length there
Yeah.
with no square footage, just the lengths. Then it goes back
That's
to
right.
feet.
All right, and so now that we've assigned this role, we're gonna send it to, we're done with the schedule cuts. I told you these forms are a lot different than the sales order. They have one task, right? The task is to get your inventory assigned to your cut the way you want and send it on to make cuts. So the next step is click release to make cuts. It's gonna validate that, do you want to do that? You said yes. And it is gone. You are done with schedule cuts. Just like that. All right, so now let's go look at make cuts, and we'll come back to this. You'll be bouncing back and forth between these forms all day. So click on make cuts. There's your cut. All right, there's the sales order. You'll want to line this up. Y'all saw the cut table, I'm assuming, out at the distribution center today. They live off of this, and they have their columns the way they want them. Click on standard view, Maggie, and see if there's a published view. There's not. But scroll over and show some of the columns. Here's the row you're going to cut. Here's where it is, what location it's in. Here's the size of your cut. Here's how long it is. If you have comments, you know that you're wanting to pass on to the cut table, this is where they'll show. And scroll back over, man. You can see we have the same filters. Do a drop down on that machine I did. We have, I don't want to get into too much detail on it at this second, but there is absolutely 100% the possibility that you're going to fulfill a turf cut that is in for a sales order for Dallas. You're going to fulfill it out of Arizona. All right, so that's why you got the turf non-inventory part you were telling me about, right, yesterday. So if you are going to basically drop ship that cut, you can do that here in the make cuts, and they can cut it in Arizona and ship it straight to your customer. If they are sending you turf, that's different. That's going to be what we call a site-to-site transfer, and we have that. Store to store, site to site, they're synonymous with each other. But if you're in Fort Worth and Carrollton, and you're, hey, I got this turf over here in Carrollton, and I apologize if those are the same location. I don't
Oh, you're perfect.
I don't know the
Yeah, no,
You're perfect.
I
we
don't
do it
know.
all the time.
All right, so you just simply set up the cut, fulfill it out of, you assign turf out of Carrollton, off it goes. It'll print a label to the customer address. Out the door they go straight to the customer. Okay? There's some tricks to that, and we'll get into, remember I told you 90 to 95% of your orders are going to follow this happy path, and that's what we're really wanting to hone in today and get 90 to 95% of your orders processed without issue. When you start fulfilling from other stores, we got a little more in-depth stuff we got to get into, and we're going to get into it in the next week or two, but not for today. All right, so this is how you'll drive that though. If you got a cut, your make cuts in Austin is going to go ahead and filter on, this is a Dallas cut, so let's select Dallas. They show this, maybe it's not Dallas. I know where this is at. Fort Worth.
Oh,
Arizona.
Yeah, I was in Arizona one, I don't know which one.
Chandler. Well, then clear it out, I don't know where it's at. Well, look, just say, Sam may not have put those in yet. We're making a customization where whatever warehouse you choose, we have a default cut table.
THD, warehouse THD, I think that's Dallas, right?
Yeah, so he doesn't have the machine assigned to it. That is an ongoing customization. All right, at this point, let's say he pulls the roll. It's only 15 feet. Got a problem. Click reschedule cut. Go back to schedule cuts. There it is. It's back in schedule cuts for you to assign it. So this roll wasn't big enough, so click unassign Maggie. It is now not assigned. Pick one of the other roles, I don't care which one. Now assign it. There we go. And release to make cuts. So now you just assign new turf to it. Go back to make cuts. And you just click, you pull the roll. It's long enough, click make cut. Say yes. Yes. If you say no there, you could adjust that. You could change it down to 0 feet. Just say, you know, we ship the whole thing. We also have a complete roll function on here. If you got a 18-foot cut and a 20-foot roll, you just say it's a complete roll and it'll just ship the whole thing. And it'll scrap the other 2 feet. Dynamics has a rule. Whatever you ship is what you build, right? So if you had an 18-foot cut and assigned a 20-foot roll, if we didn't scrap that extra 2 feet for you automatically, it would bill them for 20 feet. And we don't want it to do that.
So it defaults to scrap.
Yeah. Well, there's reports that it shows up on how much over should we shipped. Yes.
But we don't have to check, we don't have to check somewhere, scrap roll.
See what happened here, man. From inventory dimensions too. Oh, okay. Well, this is, we assigned inventory from Dallas or from a different place. So go back to reschedule cut. And that, hold on a second. Top grid. See what the warehouse is. Make sure
Arizona order.
it is
Dallas.
It is Dallas. So down here in the on hand, we selected all quality. Take that available roll up. That one ain't big enough. Do the one we originally did. No, that's off
That's
quality
one
too.
off quality.
Scroll down, let's find available. Or just click show available as the filter and it'll only show what we have available. Not enough. All right, so unassign that roll up top. Okay. So show unassigned. Go to turf all play. I know we have plenty of stock in it. We already have a roll assigned. Y'all know how to assign it. Go ahead and release to make cuts. There it is, make the cut. Say no this time.
Oops.
Oh, that's okay.
Look happy.
Oh yeah, clicking too fast.
So Johnny, we cut 0.3s on every roll. Will that auto be calculated in there?
Cut 0.3.
So yeah, just in case our roll, you know, if we get a 20 footer, we're
Because we have
cutting
shrinkage.
it
and all that
20.3.
stuff. Yeah, you're just gonna enter it as 20 or 21. All right, so cut has been done. All right. So remember, we talked about how inventory has to be reserved and then picked. You can skip the reserve, but it does have to be picked before it's shipped. That make cut generated a roll cut number and reserved it to that order. So if we can go back to that order, if we even know what order it was.
So 19 forward, I remember that.
Well, I mean, we can There's an easy way to find it. I'll just see if it'll jump out at us here. Do you remember what it was?
19 total, I thought.
I know that first one was.
The putting green was 19 total. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Should be turf all play.
Oh, sorry, that's a putting green one.
Yeah, we ended up cutting the all play.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
All right, that's okay. So go to, click on the menus. We have in RG forms. We have an audit cuts. And that will show you what we cut today, and there's the order number. So you can click on it. It'll take you straight to it. All right, so if you scroll down to the on hand section down below, okay, hold on one second. I thought Sam was putting a filter on this. All right, due serial number begins with T. Just we're adding a filter on this that's going to show you only reserved inventory. So here's the roll number that it generated. And it should show you reserved sales order. Is it not? All right, scroll up, Maggie, to the line to update line pick. $346. That's interesting. Okay, so I got Sam's messed up my own hand down there. We'll talk to him about it here in a minute. All right, so it reserved the roll, the T346. You'll know the number because it'll print a ticket. Right, so you'll have the roll number, prints the ticket. Now from the PowerPoint, we've already done schedule cuts, we've done make cuts. Now we'll go to batch, reserve, and pick. Now this is a shipping function. So that is under RG forms. That is the very top left column in there. Right there, batch, reserve, and pick. This shows every line out there. It will show you how much is still set to be delivered, how much of it has been picked, how much of it has been reserved, how many cuts are needed, how many cuts have been made. So in the warehouse shipping function, as far as, hey, I need to prep this for shipping, I need to pull the inventory for a particular order and pull that order back in. Number 19.
I think it was like 437. No.
I think it was 19.
You might have it copied since you control-C'd it earlier.
There you go.
Ah.
All right, so here you can see that sales order had one line, otherwise we'd have multiple items. 75 square feet, one cut was needed, one cut's been made. Here's the roll number that's reserved on it. And all we have to do to put it in the pick status is go ahead and pick it up at the top, Mikey. You just click pick. That's it. Now, let's go back, Maggie, to where we don't filter on that order. I want to show you more about this. So you can see like the Turf All Pro, or let's go down to the accessory, the weed fab, right there. All right, so this is showing you, and again, we'll filter by warehouse. If you want to know, if you want to filter just what's being shipped today, you'll change the confirmed ship date to today's date, and it'll show you only what's today and before. Go ahead and go.
And all these dates you can put in T for
For
today,
today, yeah.
and it will just
On
automatically.
every date field.
It's the shortcut.
Yeah.
So if we click on this wheat fabric right here, it'll show you how much you're needed, how much we have in the inventory down here is 88. If you click filter by item, this shows you every sales order that you need that wheat fabric for. So if you're going to pull wheat fabric and you know you're gonna pull it for 3 orders, you can highlight 3 of those. Go ahead and do the first 3. And you can click reserve. You can say there's nothing reserved yet. Go ahead and you're wanting to reserve it for those 3 orders because I'm shipping it today.
I love it, we cancel the.
Oh, you gotta select that, you gotta select that bottom row. Now reserve. Nope.
Oh, it's same because it's located in the Fort Worth
Oh,
warehouse.
yeah, it does have to be the same warehouse. And this is making me realize we don't have the warehouse on there. It's filter for THD. Okay, so highlight those 2. Click reserve. So you can do multiple at one time. If you know you got that item on 4 orders you want to go out, you can select all 4. Click. Now you can click pick on those 2. It'll pick them and away they go.
And you can just pick them without reserving.
You can pick without reserving. Reserve is optional. That is the gist of the batch reserve and pick. You just have someone there, and in a separate tab, Maggie, open up batch packing. So this person will have 2 tabs open, the batch pack and the batch reserve and pick, 2 different forms. And here's part of why. You can take those orders. You can see in the batch packing, this is when you're getting ready to ship it. You have 2 lines that has, one of those lines has inventory reserved, the other one has 0 picked. But that 474, click on it, Maggie. All right, so you can see here that it's got 2 lines and 2 picked. 473, we just picked it, click on it. All right, so that is that turf all play, the turf that we made the cut for. And I'm assuming you guys are going to want customer name on this, on both of these forms. I know that, we'll get that done. All right, but let's look at that first one, that 536, that says you have 2 lines, but only one of them is reserved. So this is that K9 Zap that we just reserved a minute ago in bulk with 2, but this turf all play, the cut's not been made. So you're gonna have to wait for the cut to be made for it. But if you don't wanna go back to batch reserve pick, and if you have reserved inventory like that Zap, you can click that pick now, and that just marks it picked. Okay, so let's go to one that is completely ready, 474. And 473, we're going to do them both at one time. Both of those have the number of lines picked, and you also can see, I'm sorry, I should have said this earlier. Picked equals total lines, picked and reserved equals total lines, filter. So if you do picked equals total lines, the first one, that is only going to show you the orders that have total sales order lines and the number of lines picked are equal. So these are 100% ready to ship. Highlight all 3, click pack now, and then click OK. This may take a second. Click OK. And this will take a second, but 3 separate windows, and 3 is the limit. 3 separate windows will open up with the bill of lading. And this has been, those have been flagged shipped. We'll go back to it for those other orders, and I'll show you the pick list.
And so packing, like, ships it out of your inventory.
Yeah.
That's the step that takes it out of your inventory completely. Up to this point, we still have it in the inventory.
Picking's grabbing, packing's out.
Packing's invoice.
No.
Yeah, well, it's
Pretty much like our old.
But you have to do a packing to invoice. You can't invoice without a shipment. It is a shipment, period. That's what pack is. It is a shipment.
So in a situation where, we have 4 contractors outside and, each person needs 22 bags, 10 bags, 5 bags, this, you can go and pick all that sand, send it to the guy, send one pallet out and knock out all 4 trucks.
Yep.
Just gonna, my only concern is just kind of knowing what for what order. Cause
Well, I mean, we'll put the customer name there and,
we got a customer who picks up 4 at a time.
You're gonna have a picking list for each one of those.
yeah, and I didn't show that.
So you'll have a piece of paper to match up with what you're putting on that truck.
Open up a separate one to Maggie, or what? Here we go.
Sorry, I might be jumping ahead.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no, you're not.
diving in.
So uncheck that filter and refresh this page. You may have to do a major refresh. We find them things we gotta check. Oh, okay. Yeah, these are, I'm sorry. I was thinking that was the 3 we shipped. Here are the ones that aren't ready. You can, so here's this, I think it's, all right, so on 536, you can see that it's turf all play and AK zap, the K9 zap. Click on pick list up at the top, Maggie. This will show you based on what's been picked and/or reserved. All right, so go back. Because that cut had not been made, look at the one with 12 lines on it. Do a pick list on that real quick. Okay, go back. So it's only showing what was reserved, but you can do multi-pack and slip up at the top. I don't know that I like the name of this. I'm thinking as I look, click on it.
You'd have to click 2 things.
Yeah, I know, I don't like that. Go back. We need to be able to, and it's all because it's not reserved, but go to reserve and pick and let's look at 312. So we're going to look at that one sales order 312 that's got the 12 lines. They're all THD, that's THD. Pick the next one. As long as there's inventory.
Does that mean accessories, they'll probably pick all those at once?
Yes, every one of them at once. And that bend board too. Oh, there's no inventory. All right, so now if you go back to the batch packing and refresh, you'll see there's 10 line items that's been picked. Now if you pull the pick list, see it'll show all 10.
And is there a place for a PO number here on the pick list type of deal?
Yeah, I mean, we have it. The PO number you enter on the sales order. and
So
say
it should
we'll have-
populate over if it was done on the sales order there.
Go back to that form, Maggie, and let's just see. All right, so right click up there and see if you can see sales order columns.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, so, filter on, a customer. See the customer requisition and customer reference. On the sales order page, that's where you enter the requisitions, where you enter the PO, and you can add it to this form and show the PO. We've just shipped inventory.
Johnny, how hard is it for your team to change that stuff?
It is not hard. We can create views, and we will, because you guys are wanting to filter on customer and stuff. Other people are not going to want to see the customer name. Our shipping department at the DC, they don't give a flip who the customer is. Right? They're loading an LTL truck and they're just loading orders. So we'll add that for you guys, and we can publish a view, and we can call it Turf Hub, Warehouse View, Turf Hubs, whatever we want to call it, and then you guys select it.
Yeah, I think that's.
We can build the custom view for you and publish, and And what you can do, you can take that published view, and if you would rather see columns moved around, you can move it around and then save it as your view. But it'll have the information you want to see out of the way.
I like standardizing it from warehouse to warehouse, so when people are picking
I'm
it up.
100% in agreement.
And I like requisition, customer requisition number, which should say PO number on ours, because we go by customer name and PO number, because,
You know,
I mean, when we're picking, we have
one
same customer picking multiple POs at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they send their drivers in.
Okay.
So that's critical information on our, and you're saying, oh, DFW's out there, and they're picking up these 3 POs.
Three POs.
I think we get lost if we have to reference an order number for which one that is to accelerate in that cut list.
100%.
My thought was use the pick list, and then once somebody takes it and puts it on the truck, they mark off everything they put on there, sign, date it, and it goes back into a basket, and then you pack all those later. Is that what you were thinking?
So,
Say that, I was sitting here trying to.
to expedite.
They use a pick list to go and load the truck. They mark off everything that they put on the truck, and then sign and date it, and put it back in the basket to be packed later. That way, if they have to change something, because I know a lot of times y'all say, like,
It
says,
changes like
it
this.
has an item on the pick list, but now we actually loaded this. They need to write on there what they loaded and the quantity.
It needs to be packed.
And then when they pack it, they're going by those pick lists. Because they have a lot of changes throughout the day that if they do the packing list, we have to return it.
Right, and that is part of the queue, exactly what Dennis is saying, all right. So your batch reserve pick form is what you're gonna be out there saying, okay, this order's ready, I'm gonna pick. All right, and then on the batch packing, before I ship it, I'm gonna do the pick list, give the pick list to the guy, because it's gonna show everything that you said, I want you to ship this, I want you to pull this to ship it. If everything is kosher, you click pack now. If it's not, go to the batch pack. Or go to the batch reserve pick menu and so just let me look at it real quick. Okay. All right, so I'm thinking of a change in my head, but go back to batch packing, Maggie, and then click on one of those sales orders. 214 will be fine. No, go 312, never mind. So we've got one that's been picked. Which one's been picked?
312.
No, I meant that line. Okay, so a lot of these have been picked here. So when you go down, click on one of the accessory items there, Maggie, and go down to the on hand. You'll see what's been picked. I'm blind. Or you don't have it on there. Scroll over on the on hand. Add the picked column. Not reserving pick. I gotta find an easy way for y'all to unpick. Let me grab my phone so I can email myself.
So what I'm thinking is like, we walk through this at the warehouse, like we take a golf bag, whatever, and then, so once you pick it, but we go to actually physically, you got your sheet, the guy's supposed to pick a white golf flag. You don't have any white golf flags. We just, okay, we can send the black one, it's okay. So he grabs the black one, takes it out to the guy, signs off on it, we're good, but then someone has to change that before you pack it to make your inventory correct.
Yeah, so go to that batch packing form again, Maggie, and we'll show you what I'm gonna do. Tell me when you're there, I'm not looking.
I'm here.
Okay, so on that form, you see down there, click on the infill, the second line. You see how we have a pick now? If it's reserved, then you can pick it. I'm gonna add a button there that says unpick. So you'll go to batch reserve pick and you're gonna pick the inventory, right? And then you're gonna come here, print the pick list. Go ahead and click on pick list. You're gonna give this pick list to those guys. They're gonna go pull everything. They're gonna tell you, hey, I only had
128 sticks, not
All right,
130.
and so back out, after they return that sheet of paper, you're gonna go down there and you're gonna say unpick. And I'll give you the ability to unpick a number, let you enter in, I want you to unpick all 38 or unpick 35 or unpick 2.
But if they pick something different that's not on the sales order, you have to go back and add that item to the sales order so you can pick and pack it on this order. Someone has to do that before you pack that order out.
For it.
Once you pack it, then it's like, you have to go back and credit it.
fix it.
That's why we gotta use that packet as if we were invoicing.
As if we were
It's- That's the
Agreed.
point, that's the point.
Yeah,
that
because
we're
you're not,
doing that.
you don't invoice them, we batch invoice them
Yeah.
not. When you pack it, you're invoicing.
Yeah, that's when you're done to the, I mean, you've released it to be,
You can undo it, but it is not easy. And you have to go through, when you correct or cancel
Approvals and-
a shipment, it throws everything back out there from scratch. And you have to go re-reserve everything, you have to go re-pick everything, you have to go repack everything.
And it will happen, and contact us and we'll help you.
But I will add that unpick right there because I think that's the most logical place to put it.
Yeah.
so I think you just move one person to each location, there's only 5.
On what?
There's only 5 locations, there will be 6, just
There's-
one person to
There's
each
8.
location for a month.
There's 8, Houston, Katy, Houston West, Phoenix, Chandler, a new Phoenix, Dallas, Fort
Hire
Worth.
some more people, Johnny.
So what?
Yeah,
You're gonna have to hire some more people.
we're gonna need some more people.
Yeah. All right, so go back to the PowerPoint real quick, Maggie. I forgot if we had anything else. Scroll down to next slide.
Reserve
Those, that, and you can see it, right? Now that we've talked about it, scroll up to the slide before Maggie, I'm sorry. We've created sales orders. You know what Schedule Cuts does? It's a one job guy. Make cuts, we know what it is. And then after make cuts, you've got somebody living in batch reserve and pick. And then you got somebody at batch packing. That batch reserve pick and batch packing, I feel like is one person. They got 2 tabs open and they're just passing the orders back and forth between that. Inventory accountability, I told you there was more of it. And so it's not like you can go to a sales order in QuickBooks and print a shipping or a bill of lading form and then print an invoice form and say, hey, I've done it. These are actually, the inventory actually has to be touched and told you're in this phase. How do y'all feel about this process?
I feel like it's gonna get a lot cluttery.
It will. At the first day, I mean, we'll train you until you're blue in the face. We're gonna offer 2 training sessions each week, hour-long training sessions, quick hits, like we'll do batch reserve pick, and that'll be the only thing we do. And we're gonna do batch packing, that'll be the only thing we do. And we're gonna pound.
So I'm gonna have to kind of change some job titles up and kind of move some people around to execute
How
this.
how you guys wanna do this procedurally drives what we do. So we'll do everything we can, and we have, these forms have been built to do everything we can to flow it the way you guys do orders, within reason. I have to make accounting and the inventory people happy, right? And I have to try to make it fit your procedures. And we have thinned this down. If we showed you the out-of-the-box dynamics way, you would be blown away at how many clicks and how many steps that we have tried to shorten in these forms and the accounting things we're doing underneath the cover.
That's all.
But we will work with you procedurally. As you get more and more of an expert on each of these forms, you'll be like, I can see this person, this is how we need to combine this and do this.
Well, that's why next week, like, we wanna work with both of you, like, I mean, go through the entire process and physically walk to the location at the cut table, walk out to the parking lot where you're delivering it, or, you know, dock, and then we can give you feedback on how did it.
I just don't,
I think it's gonna work.
I think we're gonna, last.
You know,
Going what?
I honestly think once we figure out everywhere to click, I'm excited. And
Yeah.
obviously, we all know that it's got way more power and it's gonna be awesome. And it's just, my concern is we are gonna struggle to do our daily business and we're gonna put a stress on our customer
correct.
the next 90 to 120 days. And it's at a tough time for everybody because we're battling inventory and stuff. So we just, have to buckle up. It's, it's gonna be, and I mean, on a personal standpoint, Landon's out the first month.
I'm
We're
on
rolling
first
this out,
month. I got a baby.
which is not
It's just-
not an awesome situation.
Yeah, we put a daycare in at the
Yeah.
office.
It's a mama care he needs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just laying it all out here, what the concerns are, but I mean, the system, I think you guys have done a,
Hopefully you feel like we're not trying to shoot the system
I
down,
want
it's
you to
just
say
trying to,
You know my goals of the last 2 weeks, and I told everybody this after the meetings. My goal of these 2 weeks was for you guys to tell me something that I didn't have covered. Because I don't want to be told that on August 1st,
right?
right? And there's going to be something that surprises us in August. There just will be. I don't think it'll be a showstopper. But I do think there'll be something, okay, we need to react quickly, and we do react quickly.
Because even to take 2 hours to watch one of these videos in a day shuts
yeah, I mean-
business down. I got a stack of credit memos like this on my desk and.
and and to split our staff, I mean, we literally, when we're going full-time right now, like we are, to, like,
It's a burden. And
well, with what you have right now, I mean, as much as I'd like Sarai to, I mean, if we're gonna keep Dallas open right now, this is what's gonna take, so we, it is, but we have, the good news is, I mean, you look at all the positives from the standpoint of our learning, I'm not afraid for Houston because I don't see anything that
Just
there's a
starting.
contractors beating down the doors and,
Right.
and trailers backed up there
I'm
loading
not
in.
worried about July. August
Yeah,
1st.
August 1st is the day I'm,
Me and you both, bro.
so, I mean, so we have to, I mean, we have 5 weeks to, and yes, Landon, it is,
We're gonna have to.
a burden for us to watch these videos, but I mean, ultimately, we're gonna have to do it outside of hours if that's what it takes to work through this and.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
The video I did last week was somewhat intentional. A lot of people wanted it to be more like this, where we're more hands-on. But now you have a video that we're walking through in that 2-hour period, all of these forms, everything that's what's on that video. You can sit at home, start creating a sales order, pause the video and say, let me do this. Start it up again, okay, now I want to do this. Start it up again, you're on batch reserve and pick, okay, let me do this. So that video was not meant for us to have 1,000 questions and people try to find where they're going. It's meant as a continuous
Growth of.
step by step by step by step on how we can get through this stuff. And so it's a good video.
I think I missed the first one, I was driving back from Austin,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was driving and I was like, oh shit, I got a Teams meeting. I got home and I did all my notifications. I was like, pulled it up at home, watched about 10 minutes, and I was like, I'm going to bed.
We are. Here's the plan. We're going to have 4 training sessions per week for the next 5 or 6 weeks where, hey, here's a 1-hour sales order training.
1 hour.
We're going to have the people that need to know that sales order training. And we're going to have a 1-hour batch reserve pick, batch packing, maybe put them together, training and what we're going to do, and so on and so forth. We're going to have these classes and we're going to do it 2 1-hour classes, maybe 1.5-hour classes, 2 different times in the week so people can join. If y'all want them to happen on a Sunday, we'll daggum do it on a Sunday. If you don't want to interrupt business. I don't have any problems doing that. When we did Turf Factory Direct, we all came in, they went live on a Monday, was their first of the month. We came in and worked Saturday and Sunday putting orders in as part of their training. All their open weeks. So we'll make the sacrifice. We'll do whatever we have to do to make sure business keeps flowing. But I do not want to interrupt a single order.
Probably have to get you a list of, people who don't even have computers that are gonna need to know
Yeah,
this.
I mean,
Yeah, and one thing we haven't shown you is the scan gun applications. I hope y'all saw those at the DC today.
Their iPads on them.
We didn't know, we didn't
We
know
got the iPads and we got scan guns that, Maggie, you can pull up the relocation, find a roll number to relocate first. Do that T roll number that we shipped it. Any old roll number in the Dallas location. And you guys may not want to use scan guns in this year. That may come later, and that is totally
Personally, with the barcodes, that's the only way I think we can do it, is with the scanner.
Well, you can physically go pull it by a lift, but
If you're gonna have multiple locations and inventory change in multiple locations, like if you receive it on a PO and put it in A1 and it never leaves A1 until it's cut and it goes back to A1, you don't have to have a scan gun. But if you're gonna pull it out of A1, cut it, and put it into B2, you're gonna wanna relocate it. But I'm beginning to think that our training over the next 5 weeks, it was gonna be like open to the public. I don't know if it should be. I mean, I gotta make sure that when we go into those 6 locations in
Everybody's
August 1st,
ready.
people are ready to go.
So,
Alright, so here's a scan gun. Select Turf Hub down there and go to Dallas. And you wanna relocate a roll. You will scan the roll number. You can see that it's in the floor location. Hopefully Dallas has A1, Maggie. I don't know if it does or not.
I'm not sure.
And then when you scan it, it'll tab off of it automatically, but if you're doing it here, you tab off of it, you say yes. And of course, it's a touch system, it's a little slower out there. These guys are pop, pop, done, pop, pop, done. But we have bought 2 scan guns per location.
will they get them before August 1st? And do
We
they,
already have them,
or
so
can
we can get them whenever.
we test them, or we start testing them?
If you need them in
Yeah.
a location, we'll ship them before you get them.
Okay. I just thought we could test them, make sure everybody understands how to use them and everything before first day. I'll send you our schedule for.
We'll look at it later, maybe.
Yeah.
With the test system. I didn't run through those as a test to make sure we're good. But anyway, we're going to do our best, but I am 100% fully aware that we could put y'all in 100 hours of dynamic training. And until you go live and you're taking that order on August 1st,
even with the 100 hours,
you're gonna have a little bit of brain freeze. And we will have a product expert at each location at the front desk from 6 in the morning till 10 a.m.
Not my call, but is there any way to push this to when we go to slow season?
not my call.
If this was in slower season, I feel like we all can adapt a lot easier. I mean, we're in go mode right now.
I think Landon, I mean, at some point in time, we're gonna have to pull a Band-Aid off. I think we see how Houston goes, but I think Houston, July 1.
Let's roll Houston.
I wanna do that, but I think on July 15th, we can make that call if we think that there's a possible, and we're gonna see how this training goes, because right now, I think, you know, our sales reps and our warehouse upper management can handle us right now. The jump is gonna be from our customer service, our newer customer service girls. Deer Valley scares the heck out of me, you know.
What kind of volume do you have at Deer Valley?
It's almost equal, it's probably $45,000 to $50,000 a day, I mean, on an average day, so you're looking at, what's that, they're probably making 35 to 40 cuts.
That's a day.
Yeah. 12 deliveries.
Compared to 100.
And they're doing there's 2 customer service and 3 warehouse. And they have to do all that. I mean, I think there's one person that is literally, this order fulfillment individual is not gonna leave their desk. You can't expect them to do any cutting or any helping in the warehouse.
I think they're gonna, if you wanted to procedurally, they could provide the paperwork from the system that's almost exactly like what you have today, and they just put it in the same place. They put it in these folders for these guys to come pick up. People out there don't know what that means.
But Todd's doing that in his spare time. He's not sitting there waiting for things to cut up and organizing cut lists and doing all of that. They're running out there and saying, hey,
7 orders at a
yeah,
time.
there is, and the white truck's this one, the blue truck's that one, here's that, and they're not going through here and battling to, oh shoot, oh man, I did this out of order, I didn't roll, oh, this roll's not assigned, now I gotta go back here, I gotta figure that out. I mean, I don't see how we can work super efficiently short of a 90-day to 120-day learn-in. I mean, we're gonna be 120 days before we're really operating at about 60 to 65.
It's normally 60 days,
Okay.
but I do get what you're saying, because this is a different environment.
We're gonna change the operations up.
I mean,
Now, I'll tell you what I'll offer up, Brad, if you think it would help, if people would want to do this, I don't have a clue. We can travel and come up to Arizona and to Texas on the weekends and deal just with staff that is in person. No more team staff, no more 40 people.
Person.
And walk through the building, print off the sheets of paper, walk it to place and give it a look.
yeah, I mean, that's absolutely,
We're gonna have to.
that's absolutely gonna have to go, and I mean, we have to really, now that we've laid this out, we have to have some people identified that are capable. I mean, literally, if we're gonna, let's use Chris Fields in Austin.
Right.
For example, if what we did today is assigned to Chris Fields, and you go camping,
Yeah.
I mean, who's our number 2 in that location? You know, I'm just using that as an example. So now we can't have a significant drop off, or when Todd Ray leaves, or Jeremy, or whatever we have in each location that's doing that role. I mean, not anything against the warehouse versus sales, but I think the sales team is gonna grab it and get the order processed a lot more. The responsibility of the warehouse and the warehouse group has significantly increased. That has shifted. And our current staffing, we are not staffed according to that. We're heavy on the sales customer service side, and
Well, I mean, very little changes for sales and customer service, right? You are entering all that detail on the
Yeah.
order, whether it's in Dynamics or
yes,
QuickBooks. What's changing in the warehouse is they're actually having to account for that when you touch that inventory, You have to say I touched it, and you didn't have to do that in QuickBooks. All right, so if you can find a weekend, sooner than later, I can do our staff can spread out and go out there on a weekend. And I say weekend because I don't want to interrupt your day. If you want to do it after hours at night, we'll come during the week. Whatever works better for you. And we will go through step by step and actually say, okay, here's where we print the paper. We'll learn some stuff. We'll go back and we'll fix some stuff for you guys and make sure it works for you, right? And we can go step by step, walking it all the way through.
Yeah, and I think
I think that would be more beneficial than what this week has.
And, you know, write our suggestions, you know, the customers, the POs, things like that, that we have to.
Everybody, yeah, I mean, all of that stuff is, you know, you can add those today, right? That's really easy.
Having a standard view for each
Yeah.
position.
What I'm more worried about is how do we pass information from step to step, right? And how does, once this order gets there, how do they know, hey, I have an important order? Rather than walking a piece of paper out there, do we need to walk a piece of paper out there? I don't know. I say let's sit down in a working environment.
I think each location's gonna
Walk
be
it
different
out.
as well.
Each location will be, but I think if we're at Dallas and if we're at Phoenix,
Right.
you will be able to see,
air parking.
yeah, how Deer Valley will go and how Austin will go. You can be like, okay, yeah, we won't do that here, but
Customize it for you.
I mean, the thing that was very noticeable to me this morning was the lack of urgency at the RG. I mean, there was no rush. There's nobody waiting. They had just all day to get it in the truck and they can just go at their pace. There's nothing
All
that's,
day with that.
there's literally contractors around the table. There's no room for them to stand. There's no room for them to park in our warehouse. They're backing in
Oh, the
there.
pressure is
And
gone.
if we're taking 30 minutes to load, they're going down to Purchase Green down the street to get sand. I mean, the great, what's the guy starts with the E? Gordon, Josh was asking him, he's like, well, the people are still, that are coming back, what are they saying? Oh, it took too long to get loaded at Turf Hub for my sand, I'm just buying sand. I went down there. That's the urgency, and Chris, it's not any different where you are, is it?
Nope.
And I mean, that's the thing that we battle, and I think tracking and follow through and everything on this, we have to figure out and get so good at it that we're as smooth, if not better, than we are, better than we currently are. And
I agree.
can we do that August 1? Is that realistic? We have, that's what we have to see.
Well, I mean, are you gonna dedicate time in August for September 1, or are you gonna dedicate time in September for October 1? I mean, I know you say it's easier, but we had something close and ready to go before busy season started. We're like, no, let's wait till August.
Well, I think that
Pushing
was
the
the last
goal.
day, that was the last day that we were given the option for.
Yeah, so I think what we should do is look at that on-site training visit and do that sooner than later, and that way we can make a decision that, hey, I think we feel good with August 1. I think people can get this.
You know, it would be a good exercise to have somebody that was really smooth at it. When somebody walks in side by side in Dallas and walk this process through. And just see where we are and how that step is and just do
We
it
got the
side.
test there.
Yeah, side by side, here's what it is, we got the test, mark it, pick this roll, assign this roll, here's what it is.
We'll do it next week.
All right.
I mean, we'll fly down, we'll go
It don't matter.
we can meet y'all down there.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'll be in Dallas starting, and then we're going wherever he goes, I'm going. And then Mark's gonna be in Arizona. I mean, that was our plan, was to at least get some feedback right away, starting Monday. And what you just said, like, walk them kind of side by side. Let's walk through the whole process first, that we understand what the process is gonna be. Then, okay, we're at the front desk, there's an order comes in. Let's just do that order and see what happens.
Yeah,
And then we see where the bugs are. We see, where do you need a person? At this location, like, how's it gonna work out if you only have 2 people there? It's like, it's gonna be different.
so many accessories and so many things that are on these orders that are, besides the role assignments, that are getting picked at different things, and they're getting checked off on an
Every
accessory.
order's a 15, 20 line item
Yeah,
type.
Huh?
And then, you add the customers that pick up multiple POs, so then you
yeah, so
have
we just,
30 lines.
that, and, I mean, we struggle with it with QuickBooks, there's gonna be roadblocks in any system you use. I think, yeah, we have to, at some point in time, like I said, you gotta pull a Band-Aid off and do it, and is September better?
Neubauer? Neubauer.
Hears? Can anybody hear?
Brownsy's coming in on speaker.
Yeah, I can hear again.
Hear you now.
Okay.
All right, can you talk, Brown? Can you try to speak?
Yes.
Okay, so you were gonna say something.
Well, and I really think that we can utilize Houston West as a testing ground during July. I mean, we could send Roxy, our heaviest user, down there for a day or two. She can, enter Southern orders if there's no customers in there. We can do the same thing with Todd or whoever else can go down for a day or two, and feel what it's like live with the customer there, and walk through things. So it can be a testing ground for us if we want to use it that way.
Just the temperatures are so different.
But that's better because it's slow pace. You kind of get a walk through it, easy, get yourself ready for the rush.
Yeah, absolutely, we obviously have to leverage Houston to,
And there's enough staff there right now.
yeah. Again, I think Houston, we gotta use Houston for not just to go live, but to train it and test it, so.
So you want to table the on-site benefits until we do Houston?
I mean, I think I don't think on-site's gonna hurt either, but I mean, we gotta get a whole crew. Do we do it
For the
after at the end
Johns,
of
for
the
the
night?
Jakes, I mean,
Our
what does
warehouse.
Todd look like? What does the warehouse look like without Todd?
I bring Jeremy over there and you bring Angel over here or whatever. We gotta move some stuff around and figure out how we can do some stuff. So, and July is our heaviest vacation time too. So anyway, we gotta do it. Johnny, you tell me. I mean, after hours, is that, you think?
Probably has to be.
I mean, would most people rather do it after the work day or come in on Saturday or Sunday? If I say that, I think.
I mean, it's Saturday after work, so you're not too beat down
Saturday, you
Sunday.
can do it from 1 to 5.
1 to 5 on a Saturday.
I mean, it's 4 hours.
Dennis is gonna walk through it too. But it'll help from a system perspective when we look at it from a whole. For us to walk through with you. That wouldn't be every location on the same Saturday. We don't have the staff to do it.
Where do we, the other thing. we
What
look at-
space?
Yeah, we touched that. I mean, this is one thing, but when is Todd and you gonna enter these roles and set this stuff up on that one?
On that back side of things, maybe.
Yeah, that we haven't addressed that, so that's the next module, so.
And we haven't looked at purchase orders and purchase order receipts. But those
Sometimes we don't get the BOL from them until the truck arrives.
We're selling off of that.
Selling off of it.
You can reserve against what's coming in, as soon as it hits the door, you're on the road. Well, we can walk through all that next week too. I mean, I don't think that's gonna slow you down.
No, but it's the time. The same people that we're asking to process every order are the same people that's doing that work, Dennis. So, splitting that time. I think we need to, I mean, Katie and Brad Brown, can we sidebar here and
Alright, so you can talk to them, Brad.
No problem.
Okay. I don't wanna get into the staffing here,
Yeah,
but
we
we just,
can talk about it. I'll throw out there, I'll send you an email of what, from an IT perspective, what we're throwing out there. You know, inventory things, part of that. And then you guys just decide when, where, now. Show up.
looks like, maybe two needle.
That closes it out now before that.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the
This
recording.
afternoon, if you guys are done with tours and we're gonna talk with